San Antonio Spurs.
Yo, Pete, he's really, they never, like, you really talk.
I need to lift my...
And you cut your hair off, Wemby. Wemby, you cut your hair? Why'd you cut the hair off?
Why did I cut it?
Yeah.
Because it was with that I was with monks for 2 weeks.
Got it. Got it. All right, so we got a really great lineup for you guys today. We're gonna have a lot of fun. A lot of couple great athletes, and some very interesting people. But our next guest is, quite frankly, probably the greatest athlete to ever live. I was talking to him backstage, and he used to play quarterback, but now he looks like he'll play wide receiver. To maybe the greatest athlete to ever live, definitely the greatest football player ever, Mr. Tom Brady. You look like a receiver now.
Really? I just look like an in-shape quarterback. Hey, how many content creators we have in the crowd? Okay. Listen, I've had the great fortune to be around some very famous people, some of which are on the stage now, but this next cat I'm gonna call out might be the most famous person I've ever been around. Give it up for Kai Cenat.
Also another athlete, amongst many things, plays a little basketball, still playing basketball out there. I don't know how much fucking longer he's gonna play, but it seems like forever. Another one of the greatest athletes to ever live, needs no introduction, Mr. LeBron James. Make that jacket just for today? Did they make this jacket just for today? That's not in stores. That's not in stores, right? What a lineup, P. I mean, look at this. Thank you guys for having us. I mean, P and I here just to facilitate the conversation. What a fucking crew.
And by the way, before we get started, give yourselves a hand. I heard they lined up at 6 o'clock this morning. Give it up.
So obviously, shout out to Fanatics and Michael Rubin for having us in the shop. Let's jump into it, P. You think we should let's get right into it?
I've seen a lot of hype rooms before. Hey, you can't even hear anyone talking up here.
Exactly.
Hey, hold up. It's only right before we get this thing started. Someone told me we have goats on stage, that there's an actual goat in the crowd.
There he is. That's right.
There he is over there. That's a fanatic.
That's a
This is fanatic best.
Definition of a fanatic right there for sure.
Now, by the way, it's amazing what sports can do. Bring us together, make people love and rally and get together. The emotional, sports takes you on emotional journeys, highs and lows. Tom, for you, when did you realize the impact of sports, like what it meant to be an athlete? When did it really, because we were kids, you're just playing, having fun. When did you realize, like, oh shit, I have a big impact on the world, on people?
Well, when we were kids, obviously, I had 3 older sisters that were probably my biggest sporting inspirations, and they were all great athletes, but I saw what it did for our family. And for me to be at the ball fields my entire life, growing up and going to women's softball games and women's soccer games, and I was like, that was my entire life. So it was early age for all of us, and then the fact that we got to move on to a professional level, and then to have my kids, you know, be a part of all these incredible moments that I had, but then to experience it with you guys. I mean, look at what sports is doing for us right now. We're coming from all over the world. You guys are fans of lots of different teams, but we're all in this room together to share like a really unique moment. This is a unique moment in my life. You don't see many of these rooms full of people with this much excitement. So it's an amazing impact to have personally from the inside out, but also from the outside in. And I think the important part is for us always to, you know, hold sports in a high standard, and always, you know, as athletes, I always felt it was a responsibility to show up every day and give you guys everything I had. And I know LeBron does that. I'm sure Victor's doing that, because you guys are the reasons why we show up every day and play our ass off.
Bron, me and you've been doing this a long fucking time. We've been all over the world, from China to all over the place, all over the world. Does it ever cease to amaze you what sports can do in bringing people together like this and people getting excited? And is that why you still play and love it?
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, we've been all over the world, man. And, to have people, appreciate what you do. You know, I fell in love with the game because what it did for me and my friends. You know, it brought us together. It kept us out of the streets. You know, it kept us away from home. You know, so to be able to play the game that I love and continue to inspire you guys and continue to inspire people all over the world, it's the most ultimate thing I could ever do, and I'm always forever and always forever grateful for sure.
Okay, and wait, guys, we all want to know this answer. I don't even know. People ask me this question all the time, and I say, I don't know. How much longer, bro?
5 years! How much longer? I really want to. Still a young man. You're still young. You're like,
I played till he was 58, so I'm saying 59.
How much longer? Wemby.
He looks so good out there.
I'm gonna play, but I can't play that much further, and the more and more time that I play, as long as he keeps smacking my fucking shots into the stands, it's gonna make me retire. So
you might retire after me.
Wemby, how much longer do you think he's gonna play?
What'd you say?
How much longer do you think he will play?
I think he's definitely got more in him, but my bet would be 2 more seasons.
2 more.
He's got to make those records truly unbreakable. You got to keep going, because like he's worked so hard to get to this point. Now just make him out of reach. But everyone looks at us, no, I can't even do that.
And Wemby, for you, obviously sports has brought you to a whole nother country. Obviously you played around the world. By the way, in the Olympics, you guys scared the hell out of us. I thought you were going to win that game. You guys really, that was scary watching that game.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, one of the best games I've seen. But Wemby, what is it for you? What does it feel like for you to be in a whole other country playing the sport that you love, living in a city, traveling around America? What does that feel like? And are you loving it? And is it what you expected?
Yeah, it's what I expected and more. You know, coming from Europe, basketball and French League is here, and it's the best country here to be an athlete by far. Obviously, it's hard being away from the family, and my life is different from even other top American prospects. But hey, I mean, I got to this life. I mean, I'm so happy, and I know it's a sacrifice I gotta make, being away from the family. You'll never see.
Hey, Kai, I'm a little offended. They're up here talking about greatness. No one's asked you or me anything about greatness.
I'm doing something right.
No, I was with Kai. I was just with Kai. This is gonna sound really crazy. We were together 2 days ago in Cannes, and we were doing something together. He came in the back and he was like talking to me. It was cool. It was the first time we met.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Maverick, forget all that. I'm with LeBron James! I tried to hold it in, Jack. I tried to hold it in, but hey, I'm not about to act like I'm not next to Tom Brady. LeBron James, Maverick, and Wemby, yo. I ain't gonna lie. I don't even know how I'm here right. I don't even know what's going on right now.
Kai,
Yo, make some noise, yo.
what's up? Hey, Kai, I want to ask you, you're the biggest streamer in the world. You've had everyone, Bron, you FaceTimed into his stream. You've had a bunch of people in your stream. I think I know the answer to this. Does this get old to you? You pinch yourself that you're on stage with some of the greatest to ever do it?
Hell no. I just told you, I don't even know how I'm here. Like, it's like sometimes you just gotta glaze. Like, I feel like, it's just like I got like a nice, like, aura to y'all. Like damn, like, I feel amazing. I'm just glad to be here. Like, I'm really in the barbershop with the goats right now, y'all. Like, I'm glazing. I don't care, though. I don't care.
Are we streaming right now? Are we on your stream right now? Are we on your stream right now?
Yeah, we on the stream. Wait, hold on. Where my cameraman at? Yeah, we on the stream. Yo, Chet right there.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. My mom is watching. That stream is so big. My mom is watching that stream.
By the way, we were in the back. Tom was there, Bron was there, Wemby was there, and it was chaotic, whatever. And then this swarm came that it almost felt unsafe. I'm like, what the hell's going on? They're like, oh, Kai's here. It's fine. He's, just lets you know the levels of just. Kai, when did you realize, Kai, that it wasn't just you in front of your camera or computer screen talking to some friends? When did you realize you had a real impact and it was a much bigger thing?
To be honest, a riot happened like 3 years ago. 2023.
What happened?
Downtown.
A lot of people don't know what. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, so let me get into it. Try to do a giveaway. I thought 100 people was gonna show up. Ended up being 10,000. It was crazy. Like, that's when I knew, like, damn, like, I gotta start taking things more serious. I gotta influence. I gotta start being careful with the things I do. So, and I'm just glad to build a relationship that I got with my chat because, like, without them, like, I'm nothing for real, like, So, like, they know everything about me. We have these memories that I go through. This is gonna be a core memory right here, and I'm just grateful. I'm grateful. That's good. I'm
Victor, you've had. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I was just saying that perspective too for all of us, because in so many ways we still feel like the same way. Like, I'm sure Bron feels this, but I do too. But even though I'm almost 50 years old, I still remember the first moment where it felt big to me too. And I think that perspective for all of us keeps you so grounded in life. You meet people, and I think for me now, when I meet all these young NFL players, the only thing I want to do is try to help them be the best they could be. Because when I was a young player, all the older guys did was try to help me be the best I could be. I think so much of life is when you achieve what you want to achieve, then how can you help other people achieve what they want to achieve? And I think the world changes, as you know, like Kai, what he's doing, and the impact he has, well, he's impacting the world in a great way too. So life continues to change and evolve, and you learn from the people that are older from you, and then eventually you start learning from the people younger than you too, which is an amazing part. They see the journey they're on, how they're doing, and that continues to inspire you to be better. So it's amazing for me to be up here with you, with your following, all the people you got that follow you every day. My son is a big time fan.
Ooh, glaze me.
Tom, one quick question before I come to you, Wemby. How have my Giant fans been treating you? Have they been taking care of you?
Terrible. I walked through yesterday. How does it feel being Eli Manning's son? And then I turned to Eli and I'm like, see what I gotta live with because of you? And he was right with me, but I had to make sure I beat him in the games or else I had some bragging rights over him. He beat me in the big games, so, it's okay. I'm in New York a lot. My son lives here, but you guys keep talking all your shit.
I love it. One thing I've had an up-close seat is to, over the years is LeBron's off-season regimen and how seriously he takes it and how he's always challenging himself to be even greater and do new things, incorporate new things. You've had somewhat of an interesting summer, a non-traditional summer that hit the net recently. Talk to us about what you've been up to this off-season.
A lot. I've been around the world basically. I was just in China for 2 weeks. Practicing with the monks, trying to put my body through different things that I had never done before.
Yeah, but Wemby, you can't just casually drop practicing at the monks. Like, talk to us about what happened.
We gotta hear more on
Are you
that.
allowed to talk about it?
What you say?
Are you allowed to talk about it?
Of course I am. It was a great experience. My goal going there was putting my body through things it's not used to do, and allowing it to widen my range of movement and strength. And this was probably as different as possible from what I'm used to doing, So cook food every day, it was like a vegan temple, monastery basically, the Shaolin Temple. You heard of that, right?
Yeah, of course.
And
Wu-Tang.
Thank you. And it was supposedly no picture were to come out because I wasn't like isolated, but hey,
So Wemby, let me ask you, what you eat for breakfast and
You must have lost like 50. They couldn't feed you enough over there.
So the temple is vegan, so there's no meat in there. So breakfast 5 a.m. was boiled zucchinis and rice noodles. So I had to get out of the temple, so I made sure I didn't lose weight and actually eat some real food. But it was tough. It was an experience.
anything to get taller, get higher?
Might work for you, but not for me.
Okay.
Hey, welcome to the shop, gentlemen.
You're not ready to shave those dreads. Oh yeah, you're not dedicated like that.
Everybody has to shave their hair off, right?
Yes, it's it's the first thing we did literally, and it's about Buddhism, and I'm pretty sure I'm Buddhist now. I mean, they made me say some things in Chinese. I'm not sure what it was, but it was definitely worth it.
I want to
You didn't sign anything, did you?
I want to ask a follow-up to both Tom and LeBron. We know about your greatness. We know about championships, Super Bowls. You guys are at the top. You're on anyone's Mount Rushmore. How important, you're on their Mount Rushmore for sure. How important a role did off-season play in your careers, your off-seasons?
I think the offseason builds towards those championships. It builds to the accomplishments that you want to have throughout the course of the season. I never wanted to put myself in a position where I came into a season unprepared. I've always used the off season to critique my game more than anybody. There's not a coach, there's not an analyst, there's not anybody in the world that can, critique my game or critique the way I want to prepare better than myself. So, the off season is all about retooling, being uncomfortable like Remy was just talking about. That was the most uncomfortable state he's ever been in, and that's good, that's great for you, being comfortable being uncomfortable. So, the off season when I've won the 4 championships and I've had, memorable seasons, whatever the case may be, and even when I've lost in championships, that doesn't mean that I wasn't prepared. I was always prepared, and I think it started in the off season.
Let me know what you think, but off season for me is when you separate from the others, when all the work goes unnoticed, and it's your chance to do things the work others don't put in.
Exactly. Yeah, I think when you're during the season, obviously you're around your guys. You guys are building towards one common goal, and that's to ultimately host either Lombardi Trophy or the Larry O'Brien Trophy. That is the goal. But the off seasons where you get an opportunity to actually do more, looking at yourself in the mirror and seeing ways that you can be better. Your teammates ain't with you that much in the off season. You will get with them at some points throughout the off season, and you guys running around and working on timing, or you guys getting in the gym and you guys are working on things. But most of the time, obviously it's been with family, but also for yourself. You have to design yourself to how I am going to be great and put yourself in the most simulated moments possible. So when those moments come during the season, postseason, games that's big games. 3 and 4 nights. These guys play on a Sunday and then have to play again on a Thursday. That type of shit that you have to be able to prepare yourself for the whole season for those moments.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting for for a long time, and I ended up playing 23 seasons, but when I was in college too, it was different than LeBron. I think LeBron in a lot of ways had a lot tougher path, for me, because there was always such high expectations for you all the time, since high school, and I always admired that he held himself to such a high standard, because the standard was already so high. There was a lot of times in my career people didn't expect much from me, so I had to kind of fight a different way. And what I realized for me was I had that off season. For me, I made it almost feel like it was when I was at Michigan, for example. I'm in the off season. I made it feel like I was playing Ohio State. I really did. I had to train that way. And then when I got to the pros, in the off season, I would go through workouts with my receivers, and we made sure the ball didn't hit the ground. So if I was throwing passes to Randy or Julian or Wes or Gronk or whoever it was, if the ball hit the ground, we had a problem. And there was almost a level of intensity because the only way to deal with the stress in the moment, I can't imagine being at the free throw line, make 2 free throws to win the game or send it to overtime. But for a quarterback, it's always like that 2-minute drill. So you practice that 2-minute drill like it really meant something because you didn't want to wait for that big moment to deal with the emotions of the big moment. I always felt like I needed to deal with those emotions all the time. I had to make every moment a big moment. So during the season, it was super important to practice hard and practice well because I needed all those guys that I got in the huddle with to deal with, man, this is big, man, Cody's gonna yell at me, this is gonna happen. I needed them, to push them. And outside, like LeBron said, being uncomfortable with, that being comfortable with the uncomfortable. I had to make people feel uncomfortable. I had to make myself feel uncomfortable. You don't want to have to wait to the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl to be uncomfortable. That's the moment you need to be comfortable. So if you can put yourself in that moment, like kind of in a way predating that, then you gave yourself a huge advantage. I think when I got in those big moments, I felt comfortable because all season long it was always about when we get there, we can't fail.
Hey, this motherfucker ready to put on the helmet again, ain't
He got me fired up.
I'm ready to go in the huddle. I'm ready to get in the huddle with Tom right now.
I'll come out of time.
Hey, you heard it here first.
You and Gronk, we'd have a hard time being beat.
Hey, Kai, we're talking about preparation. You played in a couple of celebrity basketball. What's your preparation been for your celebrity?
Oh, yeah.
How you
prepared?
You gotta be Drewski, I ain't too hard.
Before the big basketball game, I get in that gym with my boy Chris Brickley, I put up some shots. With Chris, I make sure, I get my rest, because I try to make sure if I have a game the next day, my chat not gonna get no stream the day before. Chat, I'm sorry, we can't stream. I gotta log in, I gotta stay focused. I gotta get my rest in, I gotta put my shots up. And all the time, I done get the comparison so much. Like, Kai, you play like Braun, you play like Curry, you play like a lot of good people. And I'll be like, yo, I know, but it's like, before I went up in that tunnel, and I see the supporters out there, I gotta stay focused. I can't let it get to my head. You know what I'm saying? I can't. But, if my girl on that sideline, I'm dropping 40. Hey, if my girl on that sideline, I'm dropping 40. So, but that's how you gotta be. You gotta make sure you stay focused and stay locked in.
Kai, one of the things I love about you already is I know you're funny, you have fun, but you take shit serious. And when we were together, you were talking about your university, the Streamer University. So where did that feeling of responsibility and helping others, making sure you look after people, where did that come from? And what made you develop the university? Tell us about it.
So I got inspired to do Streamer University by watching Harry Potter, and I was like, man, this would be cool to do in real life. And I looked at it in a deeper moment and said, damn, I'm at the point where it's kind of like where the platform I stream on is like I'm my own platform in itself. So I can help somebody that's in the same lane as me that might be smaller and give them a chance to shine light. Because I feel like there's a lot of talented content creators. Everybody who in here that do content, y'all know how hard streaming really is. But I feel like the talent sometimes, if it's in front of the right people, it's gonna go crazy. And Streamer University was a time to bring big creators and small creators, put them in the same world under a college simulation, and get them to learn different things on how to stream better or how to budget their money and do smarter things while they trying to become the best creator that they are. And what made me happy is helping them. I'm at the point where I'm just helping somebody else out feels good. It feels great. So it's why not? And I just loved how that concept did work out and it did do good. So.
Hey Kai, I don't know if you realize you actually do have something in common with LeBron. You're both sending people to the University of Akron to get an education, as you are through your LRMR Foundation.
Yeah.
You are as well. So.
It's funny that you say that because I want to stop by that school. I gotta go visit. I want to go stop by that school and say what's up to you.
Always welcome, always welcome.
For sure.
Victor, in the NBA, have you found other players, older players, being very helpful to you as you've taken this journey becoming an NBA player?
Yeah, more and more. Last time I saw Braun, I told him I had some questions for him. I a note on my phone, with questions I had to ask the guys, KD, Braun. I had the chance to talk to Jokic for like 45 minutes at All-Star, so and I'm taking notes. Like when I post something, I don't forget it, and it's super precious for sure.
You have any questions for Kai? Is Kai on that list?
Yeah.
I gotta hear what Jokic advice he gave you. Because everything he said, I'm like, really? Think about it a bit different. Let me see that notebook.
Exactly, I want to see that.
For sure.
Exactly. Tom, you still get calls from quarterbacks in the league now? You still hop out?
Yeah, all the time. Coaches, owners, general managers, quarterbacks, receivers. So I feel like I have a great relationship with everybody. And again, it's like, how do we keep elevating the sport? And you obviously feel that way about basketball, and you're trying to help streamers. And I want to continue to see football get better and better. And I think good thing about being on TV, I get to broadcast the games on Sunday, is like, I get a great voice when I don't see it being done the right way. And guys not playing the right way, and coaches not calling the right things. And it's a fun thing to be able to do, because I think we all want to see everything continue to get better and deliver the product of football, the games getting better, the better decision making, and guys playing longer, less injuries. And I just think if you can do that, it'll continue to get better and better.
I love that. Tom, any advice you could give, to a young man at the beginning of his journey, right? You having maybe the most successful career we've ever seen in football and sports. Any advice that you'd wish someone had given you at this stage in your career of a Victor?
I feel like I'm, pretty bad at like advice, because everyone's gonna find their own path, and in the end I did what I felt was right for me. But my journey was different, and I had to take some different paths. Like how I took care of my body was a lot different than how a lot of other guys had to take care of their body. Basketball is a totally different thing than football. Like I had, Matt mentioned me being a quarterback at one point. Now I'm a lot thinner. I'm a lot thinner now because I used to take a lot of hits. So like I had to actually get thick for like a pounding of football, because I had Aaron Donald chasing me, not that I gotta run away from him.
Hey, yo.
That shit hurts.
You get thick?
Hey.
What do you think I said?
I think you said thick.
I thought you said I had to get thick. I'm like, hey.
No, I got hit. Hey, yo. Zach hit.
Okay, so let me ask you this then,
When you
Tom.
wish it wasn't live. No. Okay.
Let me ask you this then, Tom. I'm gonna make an example up. Any advice for someone that maybe is contemplating retirement, that's played, let's say, 22 seasons in this sport?
Hypothetical, such a hypothetical question, right?
Any advice for someone that may be in that space?
No, I could imagine, because, look, I went through in many ways what he's gone through, and I think the challenge probably is less physical for him than it is probably mental and emotional. And he's got a lot of other things tearing at him, and there's business things with his children, and now that Bronny's playing, and Bryce is getting older, and he wants to be there for his family, and there's a lot of family demands. And I think the challenge about getting older as an athlete is like, for all of us, and everyone in here is working, and your work is really important, but so are other parts of your life too. And then you have to make a choice as an athlete, because you don't get to determine when the games are when you're a player. You got to show up and play when they tell you to play. So you miss weddings, you miss birthdays, you miss Christmases, you miss Thanksgivings, and there gets a point where you're like, okay, I just don't want to give that up anymore. To have a little bit more flexibility in your life, and I think that's what weighs on you a little bit. But there's nobody in my mind that's navigated it as good as what LeBron has. What he's done in basketball in this age, with all the pressure and intensity that's been on him, and Olympics, and the different teams that he's been on, and he's always done things the right way. He's always risen above all the noise and the BS and continued to deliver. So you're witnessing the greatest ever, and I hope you guys all appreciate that.
And I'ma just say it. Bro, you can't retire the game. You can't retire. I can't imagine from my perspective, I'm 23, bro. I've been you've been there the whole time, so it's
It's crazy.
Literally weird.
Literally, you've been playing basketball your whole damn life.
It'll feel weird.
Well, same for Victor as well.
He was drafted before I was born.
LeBron was drafted at 12 years old.
Very close to my age.
Wow. Wow.
So Kai, how many more years do you gotta play? For you, because it's up to you, really.
Like 10 more. I'd say like 10 more.
Is 10 more good for you guys?
Yeah.
10 more? There it is, it's done. On the shot, 10 more. All right.
Thank you, New York. Thank you, Fanatics fans.
Will you stretch it out, Bron, for 10 more?
We're out of here.
We're out of here. Thank you, guys.
Yo, appreciate y'all.
Thank you so much.